hundreds of diatom species blooming. So they're producing pigments, there's a complement of amino acids, fatty acids, and vitamins. And the thing that's working in the product is probably the pigment, called the xanthophylls. And in phytoplankton, there are two xanthophylls I can think of offhand that potentially have some great benefits: fucoxanthin and diadinoxanthin.
With this scientific breakthrough, it's no wonder experts from all over the world are clamoring to get their hands on phytoplankton.
We've had calls from Asia, we've had calls from the UK, we've had calls from many from the States, all over Canada. People that have heard about this, whether it be through word of mouth, through any articles that have been written in the newspaper, but this is a product that is in such huge demand, and it's very interesting when we're getting phone calls from people within the medical system or within the holistic healing, people that are really taking a stand around their health, that are looking for something.
The world really is coming to our door requesting, the product. They're hearing from their friends, they're hearing from this, that it is helping them in almost every aspect of their life.
He's very protective of this product, and he doesn't trust it to just anybody. It's something that he holds very near and dear to his heart, as does the entire family.
Even through such demand, those who partake this precious product are embracing health in a way like never before.
A really good friend, and he had this problem with dandruff. I mean, we tried everything with him. Nutritional approaches, we've tried. Emotional approaches, we've tried. Adjustments, anything you could think of. He came into my office one day and he literally bent over and did this. He does that and I'm looking, there's nothing. And I couldn't believe it. And then he says, well, I got this stuff. And it turned out to be the plankton, the phytoplankton. And I said, well, what did you do with it? Did you put it on your head? He said, no, I just took it internally. And I said, well, how long have you been doing this? And it wasn't even a week. It wasn't even a week till it was completely gone. When I saw that, I mean, lights went off all over the place. I mean, for that to have an internal product, to have that kind of an effect on an external problem like that, it means that it had to do something amazing internally.
Testing each batch to ensure the quality control come first at the conclusion of each batch.
Yeah, every batch I look at, I mean, there's always a concern that some condition has gone awry, and you have to make sure that all the species are benign.
Whether it will be your health, energy, pH, or just life force, let phytoplankton work with your body the way it works with Mother Earth.
The thing about phytoplankton was it had such amazing results. I had to go to the books to find out what's happening. So the first thing I looked at was most people, well, everybody had this amazing change with their muscular systems, and also the people had noticed that they weren't hungry, so their sugar levels had changed. So if you go down to a cellular level, what part of the cell actually has an effect on sugar level? Well, if you look at the cell, there's a part of the cell called the mitochondria. And I think, I can't prove this, but it's logical. The common sense thing says that insulin resistance is because the cell can't handle the sugar anymore, and it says no more. So insulin, the hormone that pushes the sugar into the cell, all of a sudden the cell's not having that anymore, because if it keeps going, it's going to completely damage the energy producer in the cell called the mitochondria. And if it does that, the cell is dead, because 90% of all the functions in that cell rely on the mitochondria to produce an energy molecule called ATP. Without that energy molecule, 90% of the functions of that cell cannot happen. So when I looked at it, it made a lot of sense. And then I looked further. What's really interesting is a lot of the common diseases we're having today, what are they finding? They're finding damage to the cellular level, the mitochondria at the cellular level. Whether it's heart disease, whether it's fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, any muscular-related diseases, any neurological diseases, Alzheimer's, those kinds of things, they're finding the exact same thing. phytoplankton is such a complete nutrient. And when I look at a complete nutrient, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for as close to nature as possible. And in all of the indigenous peoples of the world, the reason they're so healthy, and all of the studies that show that they have the better complexions and the better teeth and don't have dental care but their teeth are okay and they're healthy and they live a long life, is because they eat very close to nature. And so the closer to nature you can get, the better you will survive, because the better nutrients can be transferred to your cells.
Mr. Harper continues to be acknowledged for inventing this one-of-a-kind process while staying true to his vision and purpose.
As a family, we're working really hard not to allow a lot of false hype and a lot of media hype to interfere with the integrity of this product. The intent is to share this with people from a place of authenticity and truth.
As for the Harper family, discovering how fragile life truly is, every day is a gift. They are just thankful to have another day.
Thankfully was insightful enough to see that this needed to stick around, and he needed to stick his finger in that tank of algae and start eating it. And I to this day am floored that he trusted himself enough, especially when his body was that worn down and he was that sick. He still had enough intuition and enough of a gut feeling and connection with his heart to truly go with his instinct. And his instinct was to stick his finger in that tub of phytoplankton and eat it.
Another day, every day is a gift. Every morning a flower. Another day, when the sun goes down, I'll count down the hours. Another day, resting still through the night. Everything's gonna be alright. Another day, so please turn out the light. Everything's gonna be alright. It's here and it's now, dressed in a smile, I'll meet the sun. It's here and it's now, it's just for me. It's only begun. Another